So I'm like, so are you like leaving Kody? That kind of, she's like, well, yeah. The woman doesn't share much. And I don't want to overstep or anything like that. I do want to overstep, but I really reined it back because I'm like, that's a lot of information.
This is absolutely my favorite Christine moment of all time. I literally cackled when she said it. It's one of the rare instances in my life where I've said, bless her heart, and actually meant it in the most genuine way possible. Christine can be brash, so can I, honestly. But what I love about her is that she's relentlessly honest, about herself especially. I really respect that. I was genuinely worried people would rip Christine apart for this scene, but here's the thing. Janelle seems like the kind of person who's perfectly okay with mediocre. Sorry, but it's true. She's just content with the bare minimum, and if Kody can scrape by doing the literal least, then she's fine with it. It's like she's okay with just existing in this stagnant, complacent space, which is, honestly, a recipe for disaster if she stays with him forever. I think a lot of people assume Christine is pushing Janelle too hard in these conversations, but honestly, I think Janelle needs them. She's so anti-confrontation that she'll avoid any real conversation until she absolutely can't. Sometimes she needs a little nudge to make her face what she's ignoring and stand up for herself. As someone who's more of a Janelle than a Christine, I totally get it. People like us, who aren't naturally confrontational and may lean into complacency, will avoid dealing with things until it's literally unavoidable. That's why it's so important to have a friend like Christine who'll ask the tough questions, even if they're uncomfortable in the moment. And let's be real. Janelle doesn't always seem as sharp as she thinks she is, especially with some of the things she said in the last episode. Let's just say, her intellect is questionable at times. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Dear TLC, please do us all a favor and dump Kody&Robyn. Seriously, they add absolutely nothing but negativity to the show. Robyn barely allows any taping at their house, so we're not even invested in the lives of their children. Instead, the show has devolved into a constant cycle of the original three wives trying to live their lives while Kody&Robyn gripe about them. It's like watching a never-ending pity party, and it's honestly exhausting. So here's a thought. How about you rename the show to something that reflects the current vibe? After Sister Wives or Sister Wives No More could work, and then focus on what actually matters. Let's follow Mary as she builds her B&B, finds her own love, and navigates life with Leon and Aubrey, if they're up for it. Christine can have her own storyline in Utah, living her best life with David, her kids and grandkids. And Janelle? Well, let's dive into her new life in North Carolina. We don't need Kody's name dragged into every conversation. Just let it die already. No more asking the OG3 about him. Let him and Robyn remain the miserable background figures at family weddings and baby showers. Honestly, the whole no cameras in my home thing should be a deal breaker for a reality show based on family life. TLC should demand authenticity or just cut them loose. And Kody refusing to answer questions? Dock his pay for that. I can totally see the show heading in the direction of John and Kate, where Kody&Robyn get the boot, and the show goes on for a season or two. Then, one of the OG3 might even end up on Dancing with the Stars, and trust me, that will really grind Kody's gears. We all know he's a stellar dancer, right? The show would be so much better without them, because let's face it, Kody&Robyn are master manipulators. When Robyn talked about how she knows how to budget, I almost slapped my TV. Kody&Robyn lie all the time, and the Stockholm twins, you know who I mean, don't add anything of value. The problem is that they do solo interviews, so they can say whatever they want without any follow-up questions or accountability. Meanwhile, the wives only get to respond after watching everything on tape. Then Kody&Robyn go home to their big house, collect their paychecks, and sit on the couch for a cushy interview. It's all too convenient, and frankly, way too fake. So Kody's one true love was always Janelle, right? No, 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 his true love has always been Kody. Classic narcissist move. You remember that one time Kody actually said Janelle would always be his best friend? Yeah, he raved about how they could spend hours just talking and having a blast. But surprise, surprise, I think he's finally realizing that he screwed up and lost the one person who could tolerate him for more than 5 minutes. Now, all he's got to come for him is Robyn. That's some upgrade. And honestly, I've got a hunch that once there's no one left to blame for his miserable relationships, Kody and Robyn will go down in flames. I mean, what's left for them when they've got no one to point the finger at? Not a whole lot, if you ask me. Remember when Kody and Janelle used to have real conversations, where it wasn't just about him? They actually enjoyed each other's company. Too bad Kody wrecked that. Now, he's stuck with Robyn, someone he's got to have real talks with. The irony is that if he hadn't burned bridges with Janelle's kids, maybe, just maybe, she would have stuck around. But Janelle saw the damage he was doing to them, and that was her breaking point. It wasn't just what he did to Miri or Christine. It was the way he treated her kids that really made her see the writing on the wall. Speaking of Miri, Janelle actually said this week that she makes sure Miri gets her share of that prairie dog crap pass. Yes, that's a thing. After years of taking shots at each other, Janelle finally realized how badly Kody treated Miri. And I think it hit her. If he could do that to Miri, then her kids weren't safe from his treatment either. And now, Kody's furious that Janelle sees the truth and wants out. But guess what, Kody? You're the problem. They were more than just husband and wife. They were best friends who actually had chemistry. But now he's dealing with the aftermath of losing that, and it's sinking in. He never thought he'd lose her. And let's be real, Janelle was the most grounded one in the whole mess. They got along, she was rational, and she wasn't there just to feed his ego. The sad truth? Kody only values people who serve his needs. Maybe it's time for him to realize that he's not the center of the universe, and never was. Kody. I pay for their cars and their insurance. Oh really, Kody? Which kids are we talking about here? Because let's think this through. Peyton was in Kody's car when that little accident happened in Vegas and Surprise. Peyton wasn't covered by Kody's insurance. Funny how that works when you don't actually have your own insurance to cover you while borrowing someone else's car. The whole thing was even in the news, with the other driver and passengers successfully suing. Now, here's the real kicker. I'm guessing Kody's talking about Robyn's kids, because they seem to have a fleet of cars, right? A fleet of cars that he supposedly paid for. Which, let's be honest, is just laughable. It made me want specifics, but let's not hold our breath. Kody probably just talks a big game and hopes someone actually buys it. Oh, what a hero, paying for cars. Bravo, Kody. The only fleet Kody paid for? A fleet enema, because this guy's full of it. Seriously though, you pay for their cars and insurance? Well, congratulations. So does every other parent in the world, Kody. You're not exactly a philanthropist for doing what's expected of you, buddy. Remember when Garrison said last season that since their last conversation, he'd bought a house and a car? A car Kody specifically told him not to get. So yeah, no, Kody didn't buy that one. He probably bought some cars in his own name and let the kids he wasn't in a feud with use them, so he could dangle that over their heads whenever they weren't being loyal enough. Real sweet guy. Kody was just trying to save face, acting like he wasn't some greedy jerk who did the absolute minimum for Christine's kids, Janelle's kids, and Leon. Gwen got his old Lexus. Isabel got a clunker of a hatchback. Meanwhile, Robyn's girls got shiny, oversized SUVs parked at the mansion like it's a parking lot. They even showed off a few times, hanging out in their cars. How generous, right? And let's not forget the $30,000 judgment Kody flat out refused to pay. But hey, Christine probably had to ask fans to help cover it. You know, because Kody was the only one insured to drive that car, not Peyton. Funny how that works. So Robyn, I never really liked her, but now that I'm rewatching Sister Wives, Season 13, for those keeping track, I'm realizing just how truly disturbed she is. I'm right around the time Kody starts his big push for the move to Flagstaff. And of course, Robyn plays this game where she acts like she has no clue what's going on, like she wasn't the one nudging Kody toward Flagstaff in the first place. Because remember, Dayton was considering Flagstaff for college, so suddenly it's all about moving. But sure, let's pretend this wasn't her idea. Meanwhile, Kody's over there giving his mentally unwell presentation about the move, and the OG3, rightfully, bring up valid concerns about their kids' mental health. But Kody? He's not hearing any of it, because Robyn's got him wrapped around her finger. Fast forward an episode or so, and suddenly she and Kody are checking out houses in Flagstaff, like they didn't have this whole plan in place from the start. It's just gross when you look at it in hindsight. And the cherry on top? Robyn's little gem of a line. Yeah, Kody's not my favorite person today. I want to plant roots into his feet so we can stay here. Wow, truly disturbing, knowing what we know now. Remember when Kody took Christine to Flagstaff and wouldn't stop talking about how she was the first wife to go house hunting with him? Then, on house number 2, the realtor casually drops that Robyn had already been eyeing other properties. Funny, because just before that trip, Robyn and her entire crew went to Flagstaff with Kody to celebrate one of the girls' birthdays. Yeah, sure, that was totally the reason. She was in on this scheme from day one. And let's not forget how she plays coy when it comes to buying a house. The acting skills? Terrible. I just watched that episode where she pretended to be in the dark about the whole move. They must have been lying in bed together, plotting their big surprise for the others. It's honestly nauseating. Robyn is that coworker you keep an eye on because you know she's shady as hell, always scheming, lying, stabbing people in the back if it benefits her. She's manipulative, duplicitous, and downright dangerous. That's who Robyn Brown really is. Oh, it's so rare for polygamous men to leave their families, right? Actually, it's ridiculously common. These guys get overwhelmed by the sheer number of wives and kids, and before you know it, they're packing their bags, picking one wife, and ditching the rest, just like that. Poof, they leave, no regrets, abandoning their other wives and children like they were just bad decisions. And guess what? That's actually normal in their religion. Maybe the show should mention that little fact. Which brings me to Kody and his, I didn't have the choice to leave, but they did spiel. What a load of crap. If you really want to leave, then leave. No one's holding a gun to your head, buddy. He just wanted to drag it out, inflict pain, and pretend like it was some sort of punishment or revenge for his own failures. He chose this life, but when he got bored with it, he wanted to make everyone else suffer as a way of justifying his own mess. He thought he could somehow make up for his mistakes by playing the victim, and he's still doing it. But here's the kicker. He'll never take any accountability for what he's done. It's always someone else's fault, and he'll keep making excuses until the cows come home. Honestly, it's like he's got a split personality. One minute he's Dr. Jekyll, the next minute he's Mr. Hyde. And let's be real, if I had to slap a diagnosis on him, I'd say it's a cocktail of bipolar disorder, multiple personality disorder, and a healthy dose of narcissism. But hey, that's just my unqualified observation. I've seen this type of behavior before, especially from my 4 narcissistic sisters. The only way to handle people like this is to cut them off completely. The mental gymnastics you have to go through just to deal with them are toxic and exhausting. We saw the aftermath with the original 3 wives and their 13 kids. Being in a polygamous lifestyle is just ruinous for the wives and children. They're not just victims, they're survivors. It's heartbreaking to watch, especially knowing that the kids never asked for any of this. But hey, the show was supposed to be about how polygamy could work, right? Sure it was. Oh, and let's not forget how the OG3 are rolling in millions of fans. financial support, and family backing. Basically, everything they need to not end up with the short end of the stick. Because that's what happens when you get to escape the mess Kody created. How convenient for them. Oh, where to even begin? So, I'm not usually one to get all riled up over reality shows, nor do I typically get too emotional about them. Just a few opinions here and there. But last night's episode, it honestly had me fuming. The way Kody spoke about Meri's decision to break free from their marriage. Just disgusting. He actually said, and I quote, "I needed her just to go away, and it took forever for her to finally realize." Are you kidding me? I can't even imagine what Meri must have felt watching that. Embarrassment, shame, anger, probably a whole mix of emotions that no one deserves to experience, especially not from someone who's supposed to be their partner. He makes it sound like she's some kind of parasite, just clinging to him and annoying him at every turn. And let's not even get started on how he talks about his kids. He's got a lot of nerve. Here's the real kicker. Kody wants Meri to just disappear, but here he is, clinging to Janelle like his life depends on it. And, well, I don't think it's just because she's his wife. Janelle's always been the one with the financial smarts, and let's face it, she probably holds the purse strings in that family. She could very well be the one who'd completely bankrupt him if she ever decided to leave. Oh, and of the original 3 wives, she gets the most respect from that weird little gruddy church. The irony, though, is chef's kiss. He can't stand Meri, but he's clinging to Janelle like a lifeline. And oh, the hypocrisy. Meri, you're supposed to keep sweet, pray hard, and hope Kody will one day love you again because he's your priesthood holder, and that's the only way you're going to get that eternal family life. Meanwhile, Kody is telling her, "You need to court me. Flagstaff could be a fresh start. Let's rebuild." Oh, but don't forget, right after that, he's also saying, "I don't know why Meri doesn't just go away. Like, pick a lane, Kody. Just pick one." In the latest episode, Kody somehow manages to contradict himself yet again. He claims he doesn't want to petition the church for a divorce from Meri because, surprise, he despises the church and its authority. So he's not going to play by those rules, right? But then, in the same breath, he insists that due to his religious beliefs, he couldn't leave a marriage, even if he wanted to. So, which is it, Kody? Do you follow the church's authority or not? You can't have it both ways. It's honestly baffling how he constantly contradicts himself. At this point, the show might as well be renamed Kody's Contradictions. Maybe Robyn, with her very full schedule of budgeting and whatever else she's doing, can take a break and decode Kody's twisted logic for us, so we can finally figure out what he's actually saying. But here's the thing. Part of it is probably Kody refusing to give Meri what she wants. He's so stubborn and petty that I can see him choosing to stay in this dysfunctional marriage just because he won't do the one thing she's asking for. Meri was spot on when she said Kody pushes the wives away, hoping they'll leave him first, so he can play the innocent victim. He's using the church as an excuse to avoid taking responsibility for his own actions. And not doing this one thing for Meri is just his final petty jab. And let's not forget, Robyn used a similar excuse last season to argue that Christine shouldn't just be allowed to leave him without a fight. What a mess. Vegas. Oh, I'm sure they had so many reasons for not just renting in a nice, big apartment complex. I mean, it's not like that would have made life 1,000 times easier for everyone involved, right? Think about it. The kids could have actually seen each other without the drama. The moms could have had easy access to each other's places. And hey, they probably would have had a central playground, pool, maybe even a fitness center. Vegas has some pretty big apartment complexes, so it's not like they didn't have options. But no, let's not do that. Instead, they went for the more complicated approach. Can you imagine the nightmare that would have been for the poor, innocent neighbors? I don't wish that on anyone, at all. Maybe they were worried the complexes wouldn't rent to them. I mean, none of them were exactly rolling in the best credit scores back then. A lot of places won't even sign a lease if you've got bad credit. So probably not a great option. But Kody, oh, he's a smooth talker. I'm sure he managed to charm a few landlords into overlooking that little detail. Honestly, if they were going to go big, they should have just built a multi-family home setup or an apartment-style building in a residential area. That way, everyone could have had their own space without all the chaos. But I guess it's probably for the best the whole thing fell apart. I mean, now only one family has to deal with living with Kody, and let's face it, that's a blessing in disguise. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.